The Wanderer's Wavelength. Chapter 1. Whispers in the Night. I've always found a strange comfort in the relentless rhythm of the waves. Tonight, as I walk along the moonlit beach, that comfort feels like a lifeline, the only thing tethering me to sanity in a world that denies me sleep. The sand shifts beneath my feet, cool and damp. Each step sinks slightly, a subtle reminder of the earth's give and take. The sea breeze carries the tang of salt and something else, something ancient and indefinable that tickles the back of my throat. "Another sleepless night, Mark?" I mutter, my voice barely audible above the surf. The words are unnecessary. I already know the answer. Insomnia has been my constant companion for years, driving me to these nightly wanderings. I glance back at the town, its lights a distant constellation against the backdrop of darkness. Victorian houses loom like sentinels, their windows dark and watchful. Something about their silhouettes seems off tonight, as if the angles don't quite add up. I blink, and the illusion vanishes. Just another trick of the mind, I tell myself. As I turn back to the ocean, a flicker of movement catches my eye. Something in the waves, a flash of phosphorescence perhaps, or merely moonlight playing on the water. But for a moment it seemed to form a pattern, a geometry that tugged at the edges of my comprehension. I shake my head, trying to clear the cobwebs of exhaustion. That's when I hear it, or rather, feel it. A whisper that isn't a whisper, a thought that isn't my own. Asterisk. The stars align, the sleeper stirs. The words echo in my mind, alien and familiar all at once. I stumble, my feet suddenly unsure on the sand I've walked 1,000 times before. "Hello?" I call out, my voice swallowed by the vastness of the night. No answer comes, save for the ceaseless murmur of the waves. But the silence is deceptive. As I strain my ears, the whispers grow, multiplying like fractal patterns in my mind. Asterisk cosmic tides rise, the veil thins. Asterisk mark, marked, marker. My name, twisted and refracted, bounces through my consciousness. The world tilts, and for a dizzying moment, I see the beach as if from a great height, a thin line between darkness and deeper darkness, insignificant against the vastness of the cosmos. "This isn't real," I mutter, pressing my palms against my eyes. I'm tired. I'm imagining things. But when I lower my hands, the world remains skewed. The stars above pulse with an impossible rhythm, and the waves whisper secrets in a language I almost understand. Panic rises in my throat. I turn and run, my feet pounding against the sand, desperate to escape the maddening whispers. But with each step, they only grow louder, more insistent. Asterisk. The pattern must be walked, the sacrifice must be made. I don't stop running until I reach the familiar streets of the town. Gasping for breath, I lean against a lamppost, its light a warm island in the sea of shadows. Sweat trickles down my back, cold despite my exertion. Slowly, the world rights itself. The whispers fade to a memory, like the remnants of a nightmare upon waking. But as I make my way home on unsteady legs, a terrible certainty settles in my gut. Something has changed. Something has awakened. And somehow, inexplicably, I am at the center of it all. As I reach for my front door, I pause, looking back towards the beach. For a moment, I swear I see a figure standing at the water's edge, tall and impossibly thin, its form wavering like heat haze. I blink, and it's gone. With a shudder, I hurry inside, locking the door behind me. But as I lean against it, heart pounding, I know that no lock can keep out the thoughts that now reside in my mind. The whispers have found me, and I fear they will never let me go. Chapter 2. Shadows of the Past. The sand crunches beneath my feet as I walk the moonlit beach, my mind reeling from last night's bizarre experience. The waves' rhythmic crash no longer soothes. Each lapping whisper seems to carry fragments of incomprehensible thoughts just beyond my grasp. Rounding a bend, I spot a hunched figure in the mist. Old man Jeremiah stands ankle-deep in the surf, his weather-beaten face etched with deep lines. His gnarled hands work a piece of fishing line into intricate knots, fingers moving independently of his distant gaze. "Mark," he croaks, voice rough as barnacle-encrusted rocks. "The tides are changing. Can you feel it?" I nod, unsure how to respond. Something in his pale blue eyes unnerves me, a sharpness belying his apparent senility. "The sea holds secrets," Jeremiah continues, fingers never ceasing their complex dance. "Secrets older than time itself. They whisper to those who can hear." A chill runs down my spine, unrelated to the ocean breeze. "I don't know what you mean," I lie, barely audible over the surf. Jeremiah's eyes lock onto mine, piercing and knowing. "You've heard them, haven't you? The whispers in the waves?" I open my mouth to deny it, but the words stick in my throat. As if on cue, the sea's murmur intensifies, carrying alien thoughts. Asterisk cycles within cycles. The sleeper stirs. I shake my head, trying to clear it. "You're talking nonsense, old man," I mutter, more to convince myself than him. Jeremiah chuckles, a sound like grinding rocks. "Nonsense? Perhaps. But remember, Mark, this town has a history. A dark, deep history that runs as deep as the ocean itself. Some things are best left buried, but others must be faced." He turns back to the sea, his piece said. I hurry past, eager to put distance between us. His words echo in my mind, mingling with the incessant cosmic whispers that have plagued me since last night. At home, Sarah is still awake, grading papers. Her warm brown eyes fill with concern as I enter. "Another long walk?" she asks, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "Yeah," I respond, trying to keep my voice steady. "Just clearing my head." Sarah sets down her pen, brow furrowing. "Mark, is everything okay? You've been distracted lately." I force a smile, guilt gnawing at me. "Just work stress," I lie. "Nothing to worry about." She nods, but the worry doesn't leave her eyes. As I head to the shower, I overhear her murmuring, "Like trying to teach algebra to a brick wall." The hot water does little to wash away my unease. Jeremiah's cryptic warnings and the persistent whispers have ignited a spark of curiosity, or perhaps dread, that I can't ignore. The next day I find myself in the library's local history section, poring over dusty tomes and faded newspaper clippings. Unsettling patterns emerge. Periodic events, unexplained disappearances, mass hallucinations, freak storms, dot the town's timeline like dark punctuation marks. One incident catches my eye. A series of mysterious deaths in 1952. All victims found on the beach with expressions of abject terror frozen on their faces. The official explanation cited a toxic algae bloom, but the details don't add up. As I read, the words begin to swim, rearranging themselves into impossible geometries. A low, pulsing hum fills my ears, drowning out the library's quiet. Asterisk. The pattern repeats. The sacrifice must be made. I slam the book shut, heart racing. Other patrons stare, startled by the sudden noise. Mumbling apologies, I gather my things and hurry out, the weight of unspoken histories and cosmic secrets pressing down on me. On my way home, I pass the beach. The waves seem to call, their whispers now a siren song of forbidden knowledge. I clench my fists, resisting the urge to wade into the surf and let the cosmic truths wash over me. I know, with chilling certainty, that I'm standing on the precipice of something vast and terrible. The shadows of the past are rising, and I fear I'm being pulled into their dark embrace. As I turn away, old man Jeremiah's words echo in my mind. Some things are best left buried, but others must be faced. I just pray I have the strength to face whatever is coming. Chapter 3. The Fraying Edge of Reality. I can't sleep. I haven't truly slept in days. The whispers won't let me. I lie in bed, Sarah's soft breathing beside me a cruel reminder of the rest that eludes me. The ceiling above swirls with impossible patterns, fractals that pulse and writhe in time with the distant crash of waves. I blink, and they're gone. Just shadows and plaster, nothing more. But I know better now. I rise, careful not to wake Sarah. My feet carry me to Lily's room. She sleeps peacefully, clutching her favourite stuffed octopus. For a moment I see not my daughter, but a mass of tentacles and eyes, pulsing with alien life. I stumble back, biting down on my fist to stifle a scream. Blink. She's just Lily again, my beautiful innocent child. I flee downstairs out onto the porch. The night air is thick with salt and secrets. The moon hangs bloated in the sky, too large, too close. Its light casts long shadows that seem to reach for me with grasping fingers. "You're losing it, Mark," I mutter to myself. "Get a grip." But the whispers rise again, a tide of alien thoughts crashing against the shores of my mind. Asterisk. The stars are wrong, the angles shift, the sleeper stirs. I clutch my head, willing the voice to stop, but it only grows louder, more insistent. Asterisk. You see now. You know. You cannot unknow. "Leave me alone!" I shout into the night. A dog barks in the distance, the sound distorted and wrong. The next day at the library is a haze of misfiled books and concerned looks from co-workers. Words swim on pages, rearranging themselves into Eldritch symbols. I catch myself tracing them in the air, fingers moving of their own accord. "Mark!" My assistant's voice snaps me back to reality. "Are you feeling all right?" I force a smile. "Just tired. Insomnia acting up again." She nods, unconvinced. I wonder if she can see the madness creeping behind my eyes. That evening, Sarah confronts me as I stare blankly into my untouched dinner. "Mark, please, talk to me. What's going on?" I look at her, my anchor in this storm of cosmic horror. How can I explain? The words tangle in my throat. "I'm fine," I lie. "Just stressed. Work stuff." She reaches across the table, taking my hand. I flinch at her touch, seeing for a moment not flesh but writhing tentacles. I pull away, hating myself for the hurt in her eyes. "Maybe you should see someone," she suggests gently. "A doctor or a therapist." I laugh, the sound bitter and hollow. "They can't help me, Sarah. No one can." That night I dream. Or perhaps I wake. The distinction no longer matters. I stand on the beach, waves lapping at my feet. The ocean stretches endlessly, a vast breathing entity, and from its depths something rises. A voice that is not a voice fills my mind, drowning out all else. Asterisk. Behold, insignificant speck. Witness the truth of your reality. The thing that emerges defies description. All angles and eyes and mouths, existing in dimensions beyond human comprehension. It towers over me, over the town, over the very concept of existence itself. Asterisk. We slumber beneath your pitiful lives, but soon we shall wake. I scream, the sound lost in the cosmic roar of the waves. I run, but the sand beneath my feet turns to squirming flesh. The stars above spin and dance, mocking my feeble attempts at escape. I jolt awake, drenched in sweat. Sarah stirs beside me, murmuring in her sleep. For a moment I'm tempted to wake her, to spill everything and beg for help, for understanding. But as I look at her peaceful face, I know I can't. To speak of what I've seen, what I know, would be to condemn her to this maddening knowledge. I love her too much for that. So I lie there, alone in the dark, listening to the whispers that never truly fade. The veil between realities has been torn, and I fear it can never be mended. As the first light of dawn creeps through the window, I make a decision. I will find a way to stop this, to save my family, my town, my world. Even if it costs me my sanity, even if it costs me everything. Chapter 4. The Terrible Truth. The waves whisper their secrets, and I am drowning in knowledge I never wanted. I stand on the beach, my toes sinking into the cold, damp sand. The moon hangs low, a baleful eye watching my descent into madness. The cosmic voices invading my mind grow louder, more insistent. They speak of ancient horrors and terrible choices. "Mark!" Sarah's voice cuts through the cacophony. I turn to see her on our back porch, concern etched on her face. "It's 3 a.m. Are you okay?" I force a smile, but it feels like a grimace. "Just couldn't sleep," I manage. The lie tastes bitter. Sarah's eyes narrow. "Come inside. We need to talk." I follow her into the kitchen, my mind half trapped in the Eldritch geometries the waves had shown me. Sarah sits across from me, hands wrapped around a steaming mug. The normalcy of the scene feels surreal against the cosmic horrors swirling in my head. "Mark, what's going on?" Sarah asks, her voice a mix of concern and frustration. "You've been different, distant. Lily's noticed too." I open my mouth to reassure her, but what comes out is, "There's something under the town. Something old. Hungry." Sarah blinks. "What are you talking about?" Before I can stop myself, it all pours out. The voices in the waves, the visions of cosmic entities, the knowledge of an ancient horror slumbering beneath our town. As I speak, I see the concern in Sarah's eyes slowly morph into fear, not of what I'm describing, but of me. "Mark," she says softly when I fall silent, "I think you need help, professional help." I laugh, hollow even to my own ears. "No one can help me, Sarah. No one can help any of us." I stand abruptly, nearly knocking over my chair. I need air. I need the beach. I need the whispers that have become my constant companions. As I stride towards the door, Sarah calls out, "Where are you going?" "To see the mayor," I reply, not looking back. "He needs to know." The walk to Mayor Thompson's house is a blur. The streets twist under my feet, and shadows seem to reach for me. By the time I'm pounding on the mayor's door, I'm shaking, my mind a maelstrom of cosmic knowledge and human terror. Mayor Thompson answers, hair mussed from sleep, eyes narrowing as he recognizes me. "Mark, what in God's name?" "We need to talk," I interrupt, pushing past him. "About the town, about what's beneath it." For the second time that night, I spill my terrible knowledge. I tell him about the cosmic entities, about the horror sleeping under our feet. I tell him about the ritual that must be performed, the Eldritch pattern that must be walked. And then I tell him about the sacrifices. As I speak, I watch the mayor's face. I see disbelief turn to concern, then to fear, and finally to a guarded blankness that's somehow worse than any other reaction. "Mark," he says slowly when I finish, "I think you should go home. Get some rest. We can discuss this in the morning." I laugh again, that same hollow sound. "You don't believe me." "I believe that you believe it," he says carefully. "But Mark, what you're saying, it's not possible. And even if it were, what you're suggesting, sacrifices, that's madness." I finish for him. Yes it is, but it's also the truth." I leave the mayor's house, his promises to help me ringing in my ears. As I walk back towards the beach, I realize the terrible truth I've been avoiding. I am alone in this. Alone with the knowledge that could save the town, but at a cost too horrific to contemplate. The waves call to me, their whispers now a constant roar in my mind. As I stand at the water's edge, I know what I have to do. The ritual must be performed, the pattern must be walked, and I must be the one to do it. As the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, I begin to plan. The fate of the town, perhaps of reality itself, rests in my trembling hands. And as the cosmic voices chitter and laugh in the back of my mind, I wonder if I've already lost the battle for my sanity. But it doesn't matter. Sane or not, I know what must be done. God help me. I know what must be done. Chapter 5. Walking the Eldritch Path. I stand at the water's edge, my bare feet sinking into the cold, wet sand. The moon looms unnaturally large, its pale light casting long shadows across the beach. I inhale deeply, tasting salt and something else, ancient and wrong. "It's time," I whisper, the words carried away by the wind. I take the first step. Reality ripples like a stone cast into still water. The familiar coastline twists, defying logic. I blink hard, but the distortions intensify. My second step sinks deeper, the sand now feeling more like flesh than earth. I shudder but press on, the whispers in my mind growing louder. "You must complete the pattern," they hiss, their voices a cacophony of impossible sounds. "The town sleeps, unaware. You alone can save them." I want to scream, to flee back home to Sarah and Lily, but I can't. The burning knowledge in my brain won't let me. I am the only one who can trace this eldritch geometry and keep the horror beneath at bay. As I walk, memories flood my mind. Lily's first steps on this very beach, her tiny hand in mine as we searched for seashells. Sarah's laughter as we watched the sunset, wrapped in a blanket against the evening chill. Our life together now seems fragile, insignificant against cosmic terrors. "Dad!" Lily's voice echoes across the sand. For a moment I see her standing there, backlit by moonlight. I blink, and she's gone, replaced by a writhing mass of tentacles and eyes. "No," I mutter, shaking my head. "Not real. Focus." I continue, each step more difficult than the last. The sand shifts between textures, gritty and coarse, then slick and organic. The air thickens with incomprehensible shapes. In the distance I see the town, but it's not the town I know. Buildings twist and bend, defying geometry. Windows glow with otherworldly light and shadows move unnaturally. As I draw closer, figures move through the streets. Are they my neighbours? My friends? I squint, trying to make out their features, but recoil at what I see. Their faces are wrong. Too many eyes, misplaced mouths, skin that ripples like water. This isn't real, I tell myself, but the words ring hollow. I know deep in my bones that this is more real than anything I've ever known. I press on, my feet tracing the complex pattern etched into reality's fabric. Each turn, each angle, resonates with cosmic significance. I am both artist and brush, painting a picture that could save or doom us all. Nearing the final points, the whispers in my mind reach a fever pitch. The moon pulses with my heartbeat, and the sea roils with unnatural life. "Mark!" Sarah's voice calls out. I turn to see her standing at the water's edge, young and beautiful as the day we met. "Come home," she pleads, reaching out. I want to go to her, to leave this madness behind, but her form shifts, twisting into something both familiar and alien. Behind her, the town writhes, cosmic horror stirring beneath. "I'm sorry!" I choke out, tears streaming down my face. "I have to finish this." I take the final steps, completing the pattern. The world screams, a sound beyond sound threatening to tear reality apart. I fall to my knees, clutching my head as the universe holds its breath. Then silence. I open my eyes to find myself back on the familiar beach. The moon has set, and dawn paints the sky. The town stands as it always has, peaceful and unaware. But I know the truth now. I've seen beyond the veil, walked the path between worlds. As I stumble home, exhausted and forever changed, I wonder if I've truly saved anyone, or merely postponed the inevitable. The waves lap at the shore behind me, whispering secrets I can no longer unhear. Chapter 6. The abyss gazes back. The sand beneath my feet burns cold, each grain a universe of pain as I trace the final arc of the Eldritch pattern. The sky writhes above, a canvas of impossible colours that hurt to behold. I feel the cosmic horror stirring beneath the town, its vast consciousness brushing against mine like sandpaper on an open wound. "Almost done," I mutter, my voice a stranger's. "Almost." And then I see them. Sarah and Lily stand at the water's edge, their forms flickering like heat mirages. Are they real? Have I summoned them with my fractured mind? Sarah's eyes meet mine, filled with a mixture of concern and fear that cuts deeper than any cosmic whisper. "Mark?" Her voice carries on the wind, distorted and echoing. "What's happening? Why are we here?" Lily clutches her mother's hand, her small face a mask of confusion. "Daddy, you're scaring me." I want to run to them, to hold them and never let go, but I can't move. The ritual holds me in place, the final terrible choice looming before me like a yawning chasm. Behind them, the town writhes. Buildings twist and stretch, their architectures defying gravity and sanity alike. Screams echo from distant streets, the sound of reality tearing at the seams. The cosmic horror is awakening, its hunger vast and indiscriminate. "I'm sorry," I choke out, tears streaming down my face. "I'm so sorry." The whisperer's voice fills my mind, a cacophony of impossible sounds resolving into words. Asterisk, choose, mark, your family or your world. The balance must be maintained. I look at Sarah, my anchor in this storm of madness. Her eyes widen as if she finally sees the truth etched into my face. "Mark, no." Lily takes a step towards me, her small hand outstretched. "Daddy, please come home." The town groans behind them, a sound like the death rattle of reality itself. I feel the weight of every life there, balanced against the two before me. My foot hovers over the next point in the pattern. One more step and the ritual will be complete. One more step and... I close my eyes, cosmic knowledge burning behind my eyelids. When I open them, my decision is made. "I love you," I whisper, unsure if they can even hear me over the roar of the awakening horror. My foot descends. The world asterisk shifts asterisk. Reality fractures around me, shards of what was and what could be slicing through my consciousness. I scream, but no sound emerges. The beach, the town, Sarah and Lily, everything blurs and stretches, pulled taut across the fabric of existence. And then, silence. I find myself standing alone on the beach. The sand is cool beneath my feet, the night sky a canvas of familiar stars. In the distance, the town's lights twinkle peacefully. Did I succeed? Did I fail? The line between salvation and damnation has never been so blurred. I turn towards home, my steps heavy with the weight of cosmic knowledge and terrible choice. As I walk, a whisper carries on the sea breeze, a reminder that some questions have no answers and some choices echo through eternity. Asterisk. Well done, Mark. Or perhaps we're sorry. In the vastness of cosmic design, they are one and the same. I don't look back. I can't. I simply put one foot in front of the other, walking a path forever altered by the abyss that gazed back. Chapter 7. Ripples of Eternity. Reality snapped back into focus with a sickening lurch. I found myself on the beach, waves lapping at my feet, the taste of salt and copper mingling on my tongue. For a moment I couldn't recall how I'd gotten there or what had transpired. Then it all came rushing back, a tidal wave of horror threatening to drown me. I examined my hands, half expecting to see them coated in blood. They were clean, but I could still feel the phantom warmth of... No, I couldn't think about that. Not now. Not ever. The town lay eerily quiet, bathed in pale dawn light. Had it worked? Had I truly saved them all? The cosmic whispers that had plagued my mind were silent now, leaving behind an emptiness almost as maddening as their presence. Mark? I turned at the sound of my name, spoken softly, uncertainly. Sarah stood a few yards away, Lily clutching her hand. They were alive. They were here. But the relief I expected didn't come. Instead, cold dread settled in my stomach. What happened? Sarah asked, her eyes searching my face. You've been out here all night. We were worried sick. I opened my mouth to explain, but no words came. How could I possibly tell her what I'd done? What I'd seen? The choice I'd had to make? Daddy! Lily's voice was small, frightened. Your eyes look funny. I blinked, realizing I'd been staring blankly. I forced a smile, but it felt wrong, like my skin didn't fit quite right anymore. I'm okay, sweetie, I lied. Just tired. Sarah stepped closer, reaching out. I flinched involuntarily, and hurt flashed across her face. Mark, you're scaring us, she said softly. Please talk to me. What's going on? I looked past her towards the town. Everything seemed normal. People were starting to emerge, going about their morning routines as if nothing had happened, as if the world hadn't nearly ended last night. But I knew better. I could see it now, in the way light bent strangely around certain buildings, in the subtle wrongness of the wave's rhythm. The town had been saved, yes, but at what cost? I did what I had to do, I whispered, more to myself than to Sarah. To protect everyone. Protect us from what? Sarah's voice edged with frustration. Mark, you're not making any sense. I turned back to her, trying to find the words. But as I looked into her eyes, I saw something that made my blood run cold. Just for a moment, I thought I saw something else looking back at me through her gaze. Something vast and alien and hungry. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding. No, it couldn't be. I'd stopped it. I'd made the sacrifice. It was over, wasn't it? Mark! Sarah reached for me again, but I pulled away. I'm sorry, I choked out. I'm so sorry. I thought I could save everyone. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. Daddy, you're scaring me. I wanted to comfort her, to hold her close and tell her everything would be all right. But I couldn't. Not when I wasn't sure if she was really my Lily anymore. Not when I couldn't trust my own senses. I need to go, I said, backing away. I need to think. Mark, wait! Sarah called after me, but I was already running, my feet pounding against the sand. I ran until my lungs burned, until the town was just a smudge on the horizon. Only then did I collapse, my whole body shaking with sobs. What had I done? Had I truly saved the town? Or had I just opened the door to something even worse? The cosmic entities were silent, but I could feel their presence lingering at the edges of reality, waiting. As I sat there, Watching the waves roll in and out, I realized the terrible truth. There was no going back, no way to undo what had been done. The ripples of my actions would spread outward for eternity, reshaping the world in ways I couldn't begin to comprehend. I was a hero, I was a monster, I was both and neither. And as the sun climbed higher, casting its light on a world forever changed, I understood that my journey wasn't over. It had only just begun.